promises to be an absolute belter tonight as we return to the Fatorda yet again, which hosted the final the past couple of seasons. FC Goa get their campaign underway after missing out in match week 1, and they take on a Punjab side that come to town, that are desperate to impress and impose themselves on the league as well. They've had to travel, and as we have a look at how they got there, it's lovely to see that they are all smiles and happy. They got their first goal ever in the history of the ISL. Last game out, but they did go down to Mohun Bagan Supergiant. It's all for them to do tonight as they travel to the Fatorda to try and get 3 points off a brand new FC Goa, which is led by Manolo. Well, the last time that Goa went through and actually won something was back in 2019-2020. They did in 2018-2019, they finished second, but the last 3 years they have been quite dry. Siju Matthew joins me here in the commentary position. What on earth did you say to Palastadar yesterday? Because he's gone missing.
I don't know what's happened to him. I think it's since the first game itself. But let's talk about what FC Goa are up to, because they've hired and they've been busy in the transfer market, starting with Manolo Marquez. It's a new era there. Can he do that? Or can he better those numbers?
Yes, he can with this FC Goa side, because when you do have a look, like you've mentioned and alluded to, the players that have been brought in, Manolo is a very, very intelligent coach. He knows what he wants from his players. He brings in quality. There's no doubt about that. For me, the signing of the season has to be O'Day. It really will solidify things at the back along with Jingan. Two big players, two big signings that they've brought in, but they're not the only players that he's brought in.
That's right. We have Carl McHugh, who's coming from Mohun Bagan Supergiant, and it's also a big one signing there. O'Day, as you mentioned. We also have the Indian players like Udanta, Rainier and Rowland. What do you have to say about that?
And Victor Rodriguez as well to give them that attacking prowess. I mean, bringing Rowling in is brilliant. There's Sandish coming up as well. So he's built that block in front of the back line. So he's got the two central backs. He's got the two defensive midfield players. So they will be solid this year. With the Udanta, they've got pace down the flanks. Rainier can play as a 10. He can play out wide on the right. We've seen him on the left. He can sit there in the middle as well. But going forwards, with Noah there, they've always got someone that can cause issues and problems. But Roland Borges, for me, didn't really have the opportunities and chances at Mumbai, purely and simply because of his injuries. But bringing Boris in, that was one that was under the radar, because Boris did impress us last season.
It's also up to Manolo Marquez, right? Because we know that how he also nurtures young players. So it'll be interesting to see. And how interesting are we going to watch these players play under Manolo Marquez?
Well, I can tell you now, because we've already seen the team lineups, that there could be a slight shift when you turn around and have a look at his formation. He was very stagnated with a 4-2-3-1 when he was at Hyderabad, and the way that he used to go about his business. But today it just seems as though they've named a scene that's going to be a 4-4-2, which will be very, very interesting. So the only person and the best person to get that information from is Manolo Marquez himself. Let's hear what he had to say just about 5 minutes ago. Manolo, great to see you back. How much are you looking forwards to this new challenge that you face with Goa this season?
Hello, new challenge, new team. I think that it's an amazing experience to be in FC Goa. And obviously, I repeat every day, that it's very dangerous to speak before the competition, and now the target is today to get the 3 points and a good start of the competition.
You started very well in the Durand Cup. Are you happy with the way that the team has gelled and come together during pre-season?
Well, I think that we played the first games were not very good. It's true that these games were the first games practically for the team. The group stage was not very good in terms of how we played, but it's true that when we in the quarterfinals against Chennai and especially in the semi-final, even that we lost against Mohun Bagan, the team was okay, and then let's see. It's not the same, the friendly games that we play after or before the Durand Cup than the competition. The competition changed. I think every player is waiting for this moment, no?
Just a quickie, and you mentioned there about the team. You take it game by game. What are your expectations for the season with Goa?
You know that is okay. The expectations is to finish if we can as a champion. If we can't, was as a second, and this is the target. But I repeat, I don't like to speak before the competition. I think that we need to be humble, and as you say, no, to continue to keep going game by game, and I repeat, now focus in this game, because I think that will be very difficult for us.
Great to see you back, Manolo. All the best for today.
Thank you very much.
Manolo is definitely a favorite coach in Indian Super League, I must say, and he's here to win trophies, like he said. What do you make of that formation?
Very, very interesting, because we know that he was very much a 4-2-3-1 formation coach last season. But when you've got this personnel, you can chop and change. As I said, he's brought that block in. If you have a look, McHugh, Rainier, Jingan and O'Day, that is a four that can be very, very solid. So it's out wide now with Adanta on the right. No surprise with Brandon on the left. Noah will cause all sorts of problems and drift out to the left. Brandon will come inside as well. Don't be surprised if you see Carlos or Noah dropping that little bit deeper to try and make it look like a 4-2-3-1. But they can cause problems with that going forwards.
Well, talking about this man over there, the Moroccan, most handsome man, also makes me blush after Des Buckingham, I must say. But he's also not just good looking, but also very good player.
What is it about Noah and Des Buckingham? A lot of the ladies do like him.
Of course. But he's also a hit among the fans, because that's what the numbers say. And a lot more on his shoulders this season as well.
Yes, there is. And we saw quality last year, didn't we, where he gets at players, he excites us, and we saw his celebrations when he scored his goals last year. But not only scoring, the assists as well. I think that he's set more and bigger targets for himself. I think that he can add that to his game as well, and he can cause all sorts of problems. He's hit the ground running already. 5 goals in the Durand Cup in pre-season. He did play one game straight down the middle and straight through the front on his own, but he did play a few of the games out wide. But whether he's out wide, whether he's at the front, he's going to cause you problems with his pace, with his ability, and with the quality that he brings to the side as well.
A clear fan favourite there, and also I'm sure the fans are looking forward once again for him to start. As you said, he's already warming up to the big season.
It's not just about him though, is it? It's about the players that are in and around him. So when you've got Rainier and Carl McHugh in there, that'll give him even more freedom to go forwards, because defensively he won't have to track in as much. So that will keep things pretty tight and pretty solid as well. So it's very, very exciting for FC Goa this season to see if they can hit the ground running.
That's right, and they are here to win trophies, and that's what they want to do. This man also has a big job up there behind, I must say, at the backs, and there's Jingan.
Absolutely, you turn around, and that's why I said he's been brought in alongside O'Day to have that quality and keep everything tight. Obviously, Jingan's just travelled back from China, having represented India in that Asian Games. But O'Day, for me, is one of the signings. It really, really is of the year with the quality that he's got. Adanta, the Flash. Will he be known as the Flash now that he's in Goa? He was when he was at Bengaluru. He'll give you pace out wide, but again, he's got to get the quality of delivery right into the box. If he does that, then they may score goals.
What do you have to talk about the Brandon Fernandes, because he's the captain, once again leading the Goan side?
It's brilliant that he's been entrusted and given that honour to be able to lead the team. We saw him do it last year. They were slightly unfortunate. I felt for Carlos Peña last year. I really, really did. But, you know, this 11 that is going out from Manolo Marquez just has quality throughout the ranks. Sheraton has been an ever-stay. I mean, his numbers are pushing very, very high. Jay Gupta's the one who played a few games in the Durand Cup. He always slot into that left-back position. And, you know, when you've got someone like O'Day and Jingan next to you, it's always going to be nice and easy. You can bring in Boris off the bench. You can bring in Rolling. There's quality there. Bryson is quality as well. Devendra, we've seen him playing as well. Don't be surprised if he comes in on the right-hand side for Goa at some stage as well. But this young man, I'm looking forward to seeing him pit his wits here at this level.
There's definitely quality and depth in that squad for sure, but how important it is for this season for Goa that they have to shine because they've done their transfers.
The biggest transfer is Manolo Marquez. That is the biggest transfer that they've done, because what they've done is they've brought someone in who's a winner. We saw all his stats earlier on. We know what he can do as a coach. He brings quality. He brings the best out in players as well. The number of players they've brought in, some teams may balk and say, how are they going to fit in? Can we hit the ground running? If anyone can make them do that, Manolo Marquez can. So for me, having to change Carlos Peña, like I said, I do feel for Carlos. I don't think he was a million miles away. But when someone like Manolo Marquez comes on the market and you're serious about developing your club and winning things, that's why he's gone in. Fair play to Goa for making that decision to bring him in.
Well, let's look at the opponents tonight. The Shades from Punjab have travelled into Fatorda, hoping for a win, I'm sure, because every team out there wants the win. But they've opened their goals tally for sure against Mohan Bagan, where Luke are getting that goal. What do you have to say? What do you reckon of the game?
Well, it was an interesting one, let's put it that way. Juan Mera again, those are his numbers with the passing accuracy. I mean, you expect that now from the players in the middle of the park, but you would expect him to have played all 90 minutes. I watched him play last year in Mumbai, and I think that he can add a little bit more, and this is going to be a tough test for him this whole season. But, you know, they can put balls in the back of the net as well. You turn around and you look at the young man as well, Youngdim, the fullback. Got himself forward, got passes into the final third. That's always interesting. Doesn't mind putting his foot in. And again, he's a young player for me who looks as though he can develop and come on. At 80% accuracy in passing from a fullback isn't too bad, because sometimes you're clipping longer balls rather than just playing a little 5-yard ball back inside to your centre back. So he's another promising player that this Punjab side have. Mo Salah, the other fullback. There you go. Look at that. Brilliant. 13 challenges won, that is possessions won. So he's gone into the tackles. He's only had 2 tackles, but he's managed to get himself into positions to win that ball as well. Not as many passes in the final third as Lungdim on the other side, but these 2 fullbacks, for me, are very, very promising players. And I'm looking forward, for one, to see how they deal with the pace of a Danta, the quality of Brandon and Noah Sadui, and how he turns around when they start going into those wide areas. So the big test for these youngsters today, a very, very big test.
Well, let's listen to what Staikos had to say a while ago while he spoke to Paul.
Hey Staikos, just need to ask you this question after last week's first ISL game. How different is the ISL and challenging compared with the I-League?
Hey, when you are occupied in football, you have to do the transition from one negative result to the next game as soon as it possible, and try to be not so much affected after one defeat, so to go with ambition for the next game. This is what we did.
So what positives did you take out of last week that you can move into this week?
Our work is to analyze the game, to demonstrate to the players what did not work well, what we have to improve, and this is what we did. Apart the training in the field to prepare the team for this very difficult game that we have ahead, we analyzed the last game so to improve our players individually and all of the group.
So you've done that, you've done the analysis on the training ground and obviously on video. Does that mean that you will tweak or change any formation or personnel today?
No, we don't have many changes. Only one change is in the first formation, and we don't change our formation because in football you need to have balance. One game that you will lose cannot change everything. It's not a criterion.
Staikos, thank you so much for your time. All the best today as you look for your first 3 points.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You also see Staikos being the new guy and the new team up here. Do you see him giving too much freedom to the young players as you see this formation?
We also see a change in formation as well because they've set up slightly differently in the last game. We've mentioned the 2 fullbacks, Mo Salah and of course Lungdim. They're going to be vital and critical as well. Kieran still retains in goal, which means that they don't have an extra foreign player out on the field of play, and that could hurt and affect them later on. Talal, the Frenchman on the right-hand side, needs to up it a little bit more. Brandon and Pradhan, they'll put their foot in. Machin got the early goal, didn't he? Got the goal, the first ever goal in the history of the ISL for Punjab. Wamera, for me, he needs to add just a little bit more and link up and get closer to Luka so that they can get more opportunities and more chances.
Luka definitely is a goal machine for Punjab, but how important it is for the other players to support him.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, we heard there about the step up in class, and it is another level. And we heard the coach Staikos saying about how important it was that the players accept this challenge. We know that Luka Machin is a natural leader, leading goal scorer last year. He won the Golden Boot. He can take everything that comes in his stride. He can deal with that. He can deal with this level as well. It's now up to the players in and around him to up their games and to put themselves in a position to be able to push this Punjab side on. They're not a bad side. They played some good stuff last week. They really, really did. And you turn around and you look at it and you think, it could be interesting. They could be there or thereabouts on the cusp. Can they compete with the Mohun Bagan Supergiant? We saw that last week. They were just a little bit too strong. So that will happen with the likes of a Mumbai. The question is will it happen against the likes of a Goa? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing tonight. Can these boys pitch themselves against this Goan side and give a real good account of themselves? Because let's take it away, or take nothing away from these boys. Last week they were fantastic against Mohun Bagan, but they just weren't good enough.
Well, the team has to be buckle up and as they face the mighty gods. But here's what we have coming up on the screen in a bit is Paul Macefield's fantasy team. Do you even remember that team, Paul?
I remember that I didn't have time to put Noah back in. He missed round one and then I missed the window. But I've still got 45 points, so I'm quite happy with that, if I'm being completely honest. But I would have put Noah into the starting 11 today. But you look at Stewart, Clayton, we've really, really got points there. But I'm not as good as this man, who just, by the way, has used his super bench, which means that he can turn around and he gets points for all his subs as well. Sunjit Chatterjee is the man that's in charge with 73 points for week 2 of what's very, very interesting. And I know it's hot topic when we're all at breakfast in the morning. Me, Palasta, Eric, Mark, even the producers, the directors, everyone was sitting there and arguing over who we're going to put in our team. So, well done. It's still not over, though. But this man, I am absolutely gutted that I missed the opportunity to stick him in my starting 11 today.
Is that Puller's fault? Because I'm sure he was supposed to remind you.
Yeah, he is. He put me off. He put me off. And I'm not happy with him, so I'm glad that you managed to get rid of him with what you said to him yesterday. So that's always good and promising.
Well, guys, you can pick your fantasy team and get on and win big prizes, because I'm sure these guys can't win prizes. And that's just that, right?
Exactly. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. But at the end of the day, you talk about winners and losers. I'm going to beat Palasta. There's no question about that, and he will be the loser. But there's one side that's playing tonight that was the winners, and they were the winners of the Shield back in 2019-20. And of course, that was FC Goa with what was a brilliant season on their behalf.
Got a lot of space to exploit, and Koro is one-on-one. Could draw first blood. Stone cold serial goal scorer Ferran Korominas. Once again through the middle. Here comes Bumu and sets it up for Len into the area. Bumu! Mercurial, majestic, and monumental. And now, once again, it's opened up. Oh my word, so cheeky. And how we all wish that Jackie Chan was 10 years younger. Not done yet. Pena. Erubedia lifted up for Murtada fall. 4 for Goa. And Goa just keep going. Bumu just keeps going. And he keeps scoring. This is FC Goa. This is their league. Take a bow, FC Goa. What a way to win it. Goa are the Hero ISL League winners, and they're yearning for a significant achievement with a continental reward has finally ended in season 6.
A lot has changed since then. Even their players are different. We have a different coach as well. It is the era of Manolo Marquez. We see some banners and fans are banking on big on this one, Paul.
Well, in the starting 11, you've only got Brandon and Seriton that were there back then in the day. So it's amazing how 3 or 4 quick seasons can turn things around with personnel and players that do go out onto the field of play.
Well, I've been told that the fans are gearing up and they have some big banners also in their own language in Konkani. They have a lot of banners on behalf of their coach, their players, and they're definitely backing this playing 11.
Yeah, they are. That's right. A 4-4-2 been put out by Manolo Marquez tonight. Carl McHugh is going to be key today alongside Rainier Fernandez, and of course with Jingan and at the back as well. They've got O'Day. There is absolute solidity there. They do have the 2 foreign players, Victor Rodriguez and Paulo Retre, on the bench that can come on as well. So there are threats there. And Boris, we haven't seen Boris yet playing in the ISL for his new club. It'd be nice to see him get a debut in the ISL for Goa.
The drums are out and it's waving and Fatorda is waiting. So is this man looking at his clock?
How different is it seeing him in a green shirt with a Goa badge as opposed to a yellow or a white shirt with a Hyderabad badge on?
I think that we'll have to get used to it throughout the season to see him with Goa and not in Hyderabad.
I've told you before, he's a very, very intelligent, a very shrewd coach. I really, really do like him, and I've been lucky enough to have time with him and spend time with him and chat to him. And he knows his stuff, and he knows what he wants from the players. He knows and understands Indian football as well. And that's what a lot of foreign coaches who come here don't get. It does take a bit of time for people, but Manolo picked it up straight away, and that was a positive.
Now, we did say that we've been repeating again and again, saying that this team wasn't bad against Mo and Bagan, but how big of a task it is for tonight.
It's huge. It's, again, a little tweak. We heard, didn't we, Staikos talk before about how they've been analysing it. They've been watching video analysis. They've been working on it on the training ground. We know that Lungdim and Mo Salah in the 2 fullback positions are going to be the ones that will look to get forwards and get back. But they're up against Udanta and Brandon that have a lot of pace and a lot of ability as well. So it's going to be a big test for them. Big news is, though, is that Wilmer Jordan is back on the bench again. Still not up to 100% full fitness. But the thing for me is that Prashant's been left out. I thought he actually played okay last time out. But Christian Ananda, is the man that comes into the starting 11, which is the only change from that opening game.
Well, it's not just the drums, it's the fancy trumpets and the colourful shirts out there, definitely. And how important also probably a player like Melroy or Cece. Did he impress you?
Yes, I mean, I've been impressed with the level and the standard so far this season. I think it's up a notch from last year, which it always seems to increase. The players that they're bringing in are younger players. They're better players. Even the more experienced players from Europe that they're bringing in are players that will cause all sorts of problems. So interesting to see. Again, it's very, very early to judge these teams and judge the squad and judge how they're playing in the opening game, in the opening 2 games. Those always become, we need to see them 3, 4, 5 times, a little bit of a consistency run and how they play. Have they got the understanding? Do they tweak or change a formation? Can they score goals? Can they defend? And that comes after then.
It is a big one coming up in Fatorda. FC Goa versus Punjab FC, and the fans and all of us are raring to see both these teams take on head-on, right?
Can't wait. Can't wait. Going to be an absolute belter. Just look at the experience in that Goa side. And if I have to be completely honest, I'm just leaning towards them. I know Punjab have travelled and they travel well, but have they got enough to be able to get at this back line of FC Goa? With Rainier, with Carl McHugh there, O'Day and Jingan, it's going to be tough for them, but I expect to go win.
They may be the shares of Punjab, but even the hunter needs to fight for their prey. There's a big one coming up against the mighty gods. FC Goa versus Punjab FC.